Hi everyone, my name is Priyanka and welcome to my vlog. Today I'm going to teach you how to get what you want in life. Now, every one of us wants a life that is more than the life that we are living right now. So we want a life that is about money, that is about relationships, that is about physical health, mental health. We want everything to work out for us. So we go out looking for that life, and most often we don't get that life. We are living a life that is very far away from the dream life that we always wanted to live. And the reason for that is not because of the way in which your life is right now happening. No, it's not because of your circumstances. It's not because of the way somebody treated you, or that you didn't get enough opportunities, or you didn't get enough love, and that you met all the wrong people, and that all the doors were closed on your face. It's not that. It's all about your mindset. Because whatever you think, you create. Now, this is something that is going to trigger a lot of people, because most often we think that our thoughts create nothing at all, that they are immaterial. So, whatever we are thinking, it's not going to impact our life. It's not going to impact the energy that we are creating. And we keep on living in this lie where we are living from one illusion to the other. And that illusion is that I have to work hard to get that life. Yes, you have to work hard, but you have to also work on your thought process. You have to work on your mindset. Now, if you're not changing your mindset, even though you're working hard, even though you're doing everything possible to get to that dream life, you're still very far away from that dream life. And the reason for that is that you are always paying attention to the outside world. You're never paying attention to what's happening within you. You're never paying attention to your thought process. And because you're not paying attention to your thought process, you are creating that energy field that you are not aware of. So you are living in a place of lack. And whenever you start living from a place of lack, you can never create or bring in new things in your life. So I'm going to give you some techniques today through which you can change your life around. You can create that dream life of yours. I see that a lot of people are watching my vlogs, but they're not subscribing to my channel. So if you really like my content, please do subscribe to my channel, because it takes a lot of effort to create these vlogs. And let's get on with it. Let's understand how we can create these techniques to improve our life and to get to that dream life of ours. Understand this first technique, and that is that whatever you perceive of this life, that life is happening to you. So there are two kinds of people in this life. One are those who look at their life from a place of lack, and then there are those who look at their life from a place of gratitude. Now, if you're looking at your life from a place of lack, what you are doing is you are reducing your energy force. You are creating vibrations that are attracting a lot of negativity. So you pay attention to what you're lacking in life in terms of relationships, in terms of career, in terms of health, and you're always complaining. So imagine yourself to be a small child. And if you keep on looking at a child who's always complaining, who's always throwing tantrums, you would never give that child anything. Know that this child will always create this nuisance. They'll always cry, they'll always throw tantrums no matter what you give them. So that is what's happening to you. The divine is looking at you and saying, okay, this child is throwing a lot of tantrums. Even though I've given this child everything, this child is again crying for no reason. They are not looking at things that are working out for them. And that's exactly what you're doing in this life. You look at your life from a place of lack. Now, maybe you don't have everything in this life, but you have something that's working out for you, right? But why don't you pay attention to that? And the reason is that you have created this habit of looking at your life from a place of lack. Now, if you start looking at your life from a place of gratitude, you're going to change the energy in which you're living right now. Now, most often, we don't look at our life from a place of gratitude. So, we're not grateful for the kind of life we have been given right now. We only look at it from our perspective. So, from my perspective, if I have to look at my life, I will say, oh, you know what? I don't have the right partner. I'm not married. I don't have the right career. I'm not making enough money. And I keep on complaining. Every day when I wake up, I will complain about the things that are not working out for me. And can you see, if you keep on complaining from that aspect where you don't have anything, do you think that the universe is going to respond? Do you think that divine is going to give you anything? Because the divine knows that even if I give you everything in this life, you'll still complain because that's exactly what you've been doing. Now, if you start looking at your life from a place of gratitude, when you start waking up and saying, okay, I have this beautiful life, even though you don't have every part of your life working out for you, but you have one part of your life working out for you, right? Out of the 10 things, only one thing is working for you. So pay attention to that one thing that is working for you. Maybe you don't have money, you don't have relationships, you don't have good health, but maybe, just maybe, you have one thing that is working out for you. Maybe you have that talent that God has given you, God gifted talent, you have. Why don't you pay attention to that? Why don't you say thank you to the divine? You know what? Out of all those people on this planet, I'm the one who has been gifted with this beautiful talent. So let me work on my talent. Now, the moment you decide to do that, everything will change in your life. You know why? Because now you're not focusing on all the things that are not there in your life. You're focusing on what you have. So once you start focusing on what you have, you will start building that area of your life. And when you start building one thing in your life, it's going to impact every little thing in your life. Even those areas of your life that were not really working out for you will get impacted. How? So let's say you have a talent, you are a very good singer, or you're a very good writer. Now you start working on that talent, and slowly and steadily you start building yourself up. Then you start making money, you start meeting new people, and you change your life around by one simple thing. So if you start making money, you start interacting with a lot of individuals, you will meet somebody who is of your own wavelength, and maybe you'll get married to them. So that is how you get into good relationships. This is how it works. It works when you start working upon yourself, not when you start complaining. Because the moment you start complaining, everything is going to stop. Your life is going to come to a standstill. That is what you need to understand about this life, that the moment I complain, my life is going to come to a standstill. If you want to improve your life, you have to change the way you've been looking at this world. Now, I know that when I started looking at my life from a place of gratitude, things changed in my life. It's not something that I'm just, listening on to somebody and then coming here and telling you. I have experienced it. I've worked upon myself. It has taken me close to 15 plus years of self work, and that is how I am able to tell you that it is going to work for you. Because there was a time in my life when I used to say, you know what, I don't have anything. I was so negative about my life. I was literally just swimming in that numbness. So I know what you're feeling right now. I know that you cannot see any door, any light. You cannot look at your life from a place of well-being. You cannot look at your life from a place that it's going to change, that I'm going to get all of those things that I really want in my life. But trust me, it works. And it worked for me because I started realizing that, what, I cannot live like this. I cannot live from a place of negativity, from a place of self doubt. What I did was I started reading a lot of self help books. And I also started applying those principles in my life. I started meeting people, especially I used to go and meet people in meditation camps. And I started realizing that there's a whole lot of world out there that wants to think differently than the way I have been taught or brought up, or the way I've been living my life. There is a whole world out there that thinks way differently from the way I've been thinking till now. So then I started changing my perspective about life. But then also, I was very negative about my life because my circumstances had not changed and I wanted to change my life desperately. So then I hit rock bottom. I think when you hit rock bottom, you realize either you are just going to die in that pit of darkness, or you're going to scramble out of that pit and you're going to make yourself, climb out of that darkness. So then I did something that I had never done. I started becoming grateful for the life that I had. Working out for me at that time. But there was one thing that I thought I was working out for me, and that was the idea that I'm alive, that I'm here, I'm breathing. And then I started focusing on what I needed to do. I became more inclined towards the divine. I started spending time on realizing what kind of thoughts I'm thinking throughout the day, and I started changing my perspective. And slowly and steadily, I think everything changed. And it wasn't that slow, also. I think within a month of me going into thinking that, my life is different, my life is better. By just becoming grateful, my life changed completely just within a month. It was so fast. I think I've never seen anything work for me ever this fast. So, the second principle is that difficult things or difficult paths lead to an easy life. Yes. And the difficulty is not what you're facing right now. Difficulty is what you're thinking right now, because you have a lot of thoughts in your mind that are not working out for you. So every day when you wake up and by the time you go to sleep, you have a pattern of thought that is making you feel depressed, it's making you feel numb, and it's very difficult to overcome that pattern of thought process. So all of those thoughts that you're thinking throughout the day are giving you a lot of anxiety, they're making you feel nervous, they're making you feel as if life is not worth living. So the difficulty is to overcome those thoughts. And the only way you can overcome these thoughts is to pay attention to your thought process. Now, this is something that I keep on repeating in my vlogs, and that is pay one fourth of attention to the outside world and three-fourth onto your thoughts. You have to be present every day, every second. Just be present and understand what thoughts you're thinking, because till the time you don't you know sift through your thoughts, you will keep on thinking the same thoughts every day, and you cannot eliminate your thoughts like that. That, oh, I am thinking these thoughts and then I'm going to eliminate them, I'm not going to think them. That's not how it happens. It's very difficult, and initially you are going to go back into that overthinking phase. You're going to remove these thoughts, and then you will see that these thoughts are going to come back 10 times in more power. And the only way you can remove these thoughts and get into a better thought process is by asking yourself whether you want to go back into your old self or you want to improve. So every time you have that thought, that achy feeling in your heart that this is how my life is, no matter what you tell me, this is how my life is, you ask yourself whether you want to live this life just the way you are living right now, you want to change your life. Now, that question in itself is going to make you stop and look at your thoughts again. Because what we do is we kind of create this gate where we throw the garbage out, we throw all of these thoughts out, and then we don't close that gate. So we are standing at the gate and again bringing that garbage back in. You think certain thoughts, then you let them go by paying attention to them, and then you bring those thoughts back into your life, and they come back with more power than they were there before, because now you're totally focused on them. Till now they were just lying there in your subconscious mind, but now they have come back with more force. So then you have to apply more force to remove them, and you cannot do that. You cannot control your thoughts like that. But there is a way in which you can remove these thoughts, and that is by saying to yourself, I don't want to be like this. I want to change my life. And no one is coming to rescue me. I have to do this on my own, because nobody understands the kind of thoughts I'm thinking. And that is how you change that. This is the difficult path. It's not what actions you're taking, it's not your circumstances. No, it's just that you have never paid attention to your thoughts, and it's the most difficult thing. Just sifting through your thoughts is the most difficult thing you'll ever do in your life. And once you do that, it's going to lead you onto a very easy, very calm path. This is your work. This is the work that you are supposed to do in your life to improve your life. Let's come on to the third technique, and that is that fear is keeping you back. It's your self doubt that is creating a lot of problems in your life. You cannot receive anything in your life if you don't let yourself feel at ease. So we're not talking about just manifestation, because manifestation is a very small aspect of this life that you want to create, right? You want a life that is stable. You don't want a Lamborghini or a Maserati or $1 billion in your bank. Yes, you all want that. I know you all want that. But it's not just about that. It's about you getting that kind of access to a stable life, because we all want that, right? We all want to feel a certain way. We all want to feel that ease, that joy. And yes, money does bring in a lot of ease in your life. But if, let's say, you have money, but you don't have good personal relationships, you have a lot of toxic people in your life, or you don't have a right partner, or that you are feeling lonely in life, even though you have a partner, it happens, right? It's just not about money. Or let's say you have health issues, you're not feeling that good in this body of yours. So you want everything to work out for you. All areas of your life should work out for you. And for that to happen, you have to remove fear from your life. If my voice is breaking, I was down with a very bad flu because it's flu season. So now let's understand this. Fear keeps you back because you have a lot of self doubt. And this self doubt is created in your mind because you failed in certain areas of your life. Now if you fail in almost all areas of your life or certain areas of your life, what you do is you pick up on those cues that, you know what, I cannot do this, I cannot make money. Although you want $1 billion in your bank account, but you cannot make money because that's what you think, right? So now every time you go out there and you try something new, or you try and work upon your skill sets, you're going to go in that whole idea that although I'm doing this to make money, I cannot attract money. So now that is a blockage. Energy that you live in is reciprocated by the divine, because every blessing in your life is coming from the divine. How do we overcome from these blockages? How do we overcome from fear? We can overcome from fear by trying to look at our life as something that is now changing. I know change brings in a lot of fear. So, how come change can create stability in our life? Now, let's say you are leading a life that you don't want to lead. So, then the change is the only thing that can bring in a different life for you. But you're fearful of that life because you've never experienced it and you're so used to the idea of control. You're so used to the idea of living a certain way. So what you need to do is you need to live in uncertainty. I had to teach myself to be uncertain of my future, because unless you are uncertain of your future, you will never receive that future, because that future that you want is only going to come when you stop and drop all of these ideas that, you know, I have to do this, or these circumstances have to be in right order for me to live my life. So the only way you can overcome fear is to place yourself in a situation where you say, you know what, either I can get this in my life or I can just refuse it and live my life from a place of lack. You want to keep leading your life from a place of fear, you will keep on leading your life from a place of fear, and nothing will change in your life. So you have to decide at one point in your life that, you know what, I'm going to give up this fear and I'm going to understand how I can receive this abundance, how I can receive beautiful things in my life. And for that to happen, you have to let go of that fear. There's nothing else you can do in your life except that, you know what, I have to let go of this fear so that I can receive all of those things that I've been wanting in my life. Now the fourth point is that you have to let go of attachment, because that's what you do. You attach yourself to what you want in life. So let's say I want money in my life. Now I'm so attached to that money that every day when I'm waking up, I'm thinking, oh, I don't have money in my life, because that's what you want, right? You want money, you want good relationships, and then you wake up and say to yourself, oh, I want this, and then after 10 minutes of realizing that you don't have it, you will become so sad and depressed. So if you want to feel optimistic at all points of your life, even though you don't have something in your life, is to let go. This is the easiest and the fastest way you can receive abundance in your life. Now, this is not just about manifestation, as I keep saying, this is about you leading a life from a place of well being. Because manifestation will work for a very small period of time. You will get something in life, then you will be happy, and then again you'll go back into feeling sad. So, we don't want that. We want to feel good at all given points of our life. We don't want negativity to approach us. We want a stable mindset, and for that to happen, you have to let go of that attachment to things. Yes, I want it, yes, I'll work towards it, and then I will surrender what I want. That part of surrendering is what gets you where you want to be, and it gets you into the stable mindset. Now you're no longer worried, oh, how I'm going to get it, because now if you are attached to something like money or relationships or good health, you will focus so much on what is not there after a while, because yes, I want it, I need it, then you will go and think of, how come I don't have it, even I'm right now working so hard and don't have it. So when you are no longer thinking about it, and also when you are no longer fearful of it, so there are lots of things that are not working out for you right now. There's one thing that's working out for you, and that is you are alive and breathing on this planet. And that's exactly what you need to do. You need to focus on your breaths, you need to focus on the feeling of being here feeling good about yourself. And if you do that, trust me, things are going to come your way. Now, if you don't feel that, things are moving, things are not going your way, then you have to understand that there's something that you're thinking that's not working for you. So people say, you know what, it's my destiny, that's why it's not coming. Trust me, if it was not your destiny, you wouldn't even be thinking about it. You're thinking about it because it's in your destiny. That's how you tell yourself that I'm going to get there. Getting that idea because we are destined for it. But oftentimes, we are the ones who are blocking our path. We are the ones who are saying to ourselves, you know what, I'm not going to get it because I'm not destined for it. Is that it's taking you time to accept it. Once you start accepting it, once you start telling yourself, you know what is going to come my way, it's going to come your way. It's just that you have to let go of that whole idea of that it's not coming your way. You have to remove fears, you have to remove self doubt, you have to practice on your thought process, and also you have to practice on how you're feeling in that moment when it is going to come to you, because that's how it's going to change the way you've been thinking till now. Now, oftentimes we think in fear. So we will predict that future, we will predict that dream coming true with a lot of fear. So if we're feeling fear, we're going to only attract fear in our life. Now, if we start feeling positivity and we start feeling ease, because that's exactly what you need to feel. You need to feel at ease with what's coming your way. Because right now you might have big dreams, but those big dreams are scaring you. And when you get scared of those big dreams, you also create a lot of blockages. So you have to remove all of those blockages by asking yourself, how do I want to feel in that moment? That's the answer. That's the answer. And that is how you will attract whatever you want in your life, because at the end of the day, you have only one life to live, right? You don't have the option of living multiple lives. That, okay, I'm going to do a redo on my life. You don't have that, right? So you have to pay attention to your thought process. You have to pay attention to what's working out for you. You have to become grateful, and you have to change your mindset, because it's all about changing your mindset. If you don't change your mindset, you will keep on repeating the same mistakes you've been repeating all along. You have created some habits, and these habits are the ones that are blocking your path. Now you need to create healthy habits, you need to create a healthy mindset to receive that abundance in your life, because that abundance will only come to you when you start changing the way you've been thinking. And you cannot change your thought process by simply saying, oh, I'm going to change my thoughts. You have to change your habits too. And I hope that this vlog is going to help you in achieving your dream life. And with that, I'm going to end my vlog here. I hope you love my vlog. Do like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.